This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, and I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason Glick.
Whether you viewed my, it's like my to-be-continued part last week as a promise or a threat, I'm back to talk about Wolverine.
All right.
Just in time for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just so you know, I haven't watched the leaked version yet because I am a boringly honest person who wants to pay to see it in theaters.
Hey, I'm with you on this one.
Yeah, and also there's also the fact that I hear the leaked version just hasn't had all the FX work done.
Yeah.
There's that issue too.
Yeah, that to me would ruin a movie, by the way. Mm-hmm. I really depend on some of that stuff. So
yeah, indeed. I mean, it's like in some like a big blockbuster, summer blockbuster type movie like Wolverine, like that. On one hand, you want it to live or die by its FX, but I mean, like this with something like Wolverine, you want it to live or die by its characters too.
Exactly.
And to be honest, I'm looking forward to it because like trailer looks good.
Yeah.
Trailer also makes me worry that it's going to be overstuffed with characters, but we're gonna. I also wonder about the logistics of working Cyclops into Wolverine's origin story. But hey, we're not here to judge. Yeah, we're also going to withhold judgment on Liev Schreiber, generally a very good actor, being Sabretooth, who, well, basically, I mean, it's like Sabretooth is just like completely feral version of Wolverine. He's all Wolverine's bad instincts given form.
Mm-hmm.
And Schreiber, he's good, but I mean, he strikes me as a far too cerebral actor for that kind of thing.
Agreed.
Yeah. Still, but I mean, like the guy can act, so I'm going to withhold judgment on. I will withhold judgment on how he's going to do until I see the movie.
Okay.
This is in comparison to say something like say judging like Dragon Ball before it hits the movies, which I know is probably going to be a complete piece of shit.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Anyway, I can tell you though before seeing the movie that while the movie is not going to be a direct adaptation of any Wolverine story you've seen before, it is probably most likely going to incorporate two stories that have been reprinted for several years now. The first and most prominent of which is Origin. Well, I mean, it's called Origin because, hey, you know, like out of all comic book characters, no character's origin is enshrouded in more secrecy and mystery and generic conspiracy work than Wolverine's. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, what kind of person was he before he became Wolverine?
Right.
I mean, and Origin, you know, it's good, and it's like rereading it like now recently. It's like I got it. It's like there's some parts I feel that could have been done better, but the thing I like most about it is that it's not just a series of bam, that's how he is moments. You know, like it's not just like them doing a hit list of like, oh, this and this turned Logan into Wolverine. I mean, like, and the story basically starts off at this in Canada around the late 19th century during the gold rush years, on this big high class mansion with this one girl, a nice redhead named 12-year-old redhead named Rose, being brought in to serve as a friend for James Howlett, the youngest son of the Howlett family, who runs the mansion, and also there's also this one boy named Dog who becomes their friend as well. He's the son of the groundskeeper named Logan, who's also just like this scary mean drunk, like who's allowed to stay on the grounds of the mansion for reasons that aren't made entirely clear. Well, they are eventually, but it's not entirely pleasant. So, but the thing is, like as things go, you find out that wait, James Howlett, this cute sickly kid who cherishes this puppy and like he's just like a big giant pussy. Oh, well, apparently he pops his claws one day, and wait, he's Wolverine. Mm-hmm. And then you find out you follow him as he and Rose have to escape to the mines of British Columbia in order to forge their life there. But even as they manage to eke out a life for themselves. Wolverine's nature eventually starts to assert himself over the years, and the Howlett family turns out to not be done with him after all the havoc he caused when he popped his claws. Oh. Yeah, it's a good, like I said, it's a good story and I can see how all this stuff that happens in the story could shape Wolverine. I mean, like, it's not like I said, it's not a series of origin moments. It's just a series of accumulated life experience that basically like shapes young James Howlett into the Wolverine that we know and love today. What the thing that doesn't work quite so well is that, well, it's written by Paul Jenkins, and Jenkins does a good job with what he has to do here. But the thing is, a lot of the way the dialogue is done, it's kind of like we're aiming towards art here. I mean, like, it starts off with, a right terrible tragedy. It was just after the place was built. The elder boy took ill all of a sudden and died. They buried him here on the grounds. That was such a desperate, sad day for everyone. Oh, that must have been so awful, Mr. Kenneth. I mean, this is a superhero comic. I mean, it's I know that the origin of Wolverine is supposed to be like one of the biggest stories ever, but to try and treat it as art,
as an art narrative.
Yeah, I mean, like the blurb on the back from the Comic Buyer's Guide says, "Origins a cross between Great Expectations and Jane Eyre, and worth waiting 26 years for." Good Lord, people! There should be a law against pretentiousness as bad as that.
Yeah.
Now, it gets a little leeway because people talk that way back then, but still, I mean, it's like there's this whole air of art that suffuses the project that I really think they should have done away with. I mean, it should have just been, they should have embraced its more comic booky nature. I mean, the art by Andy Kubert is great, and like it's helped immensely by the coloring by the digital painting by Richard Isanove. And like he's got a good eye for action and for characters. I mean, this is a guy who used to just make his living by just doing like big superhero action poses on the regular X-Men title, and he's come a long way since then. I mean, he does some great stuff with this volume here. But still, I mean, it's like there's this air of pretentiousness that kind of like takes away from the book being as entertaining as it could have been. I mean, yeah, you'll probably see a lot of it being done up, a lot of it being reinterpreted for the movie. But I mean, like the whole reason I heard the whole reason that this origin story even exists is because if Marvel didn't do the origin of Wolverine, the movie would. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also, but one thing I do like about the book, and I went and talked about this last week with the Messiah Complex hardcover, is that I love having the notes from the writers about how the story came to be in the back of the book, as opposed to sketches. And good Lord, they've got a lot of stuff from all the people involved with it, from the Marvel publishing chief at the time, Bill Jamaas, to editor-in-chief Joe Quesada, to Paul Jenkins' own treatment in here. I mean, it's like there's lots of stuff to show you how the story I think got shaped into the story that you're reading in this volume. I mean, like, some of this stuff is weird. Like, I mean, like setting it in a Texas suburb with Rosa being a Latino and Wolverine being like a flabby, wealthy, bookish kid. I mean, and his parents being yuppies. I mean, stuff like this. I mean, it's cool to see how this how the story evolved and that she came to be. I mean, it's like it's great stuff, and I'd love to see more of it in comic books. But it's my complaints are falling on deaf ears here. But still, Wolverine origin. It's a good story. I mean, it's like the origin of Wolverine that tells here, I feel is good enough that it's worth looking into if you can find it. Okay, now the other story they're going to be taking out for the movie is on Weapon X by Barry Windsor Smith. Gotcha. This is a story of basically what happened when Wolverine got his adamantium, when he was captured by this shady government organization, and they tried to turn him into this living weapon. I mean, it's a great story, actually. I mean, it's like even though I'm not entirely sure how much of this stuff actually exists in continuity today, but it's great because it's to be honest, it's less a story about Wolverine than it is about the people who try to turn him into a killing machine. I mean, you've got the professor, this insecure, arrogant leader of the Weapon X project, who's being guided by the shadowy conspiracy who we never see, and they're telling him just enough to let him do his job, but not enough to prevent him prevent him and everyone from getting killed in the end. Right. Then you got Professor Cornelius, who is was on the run from the law, but he's just brought into the project in order to save his skin, and he's just going along with this because, hey, you know what? They signed the checks.
Yeah.
So
right.
And then there's Hines, the cute female receptionist who's just a computer tech there, but she's looking at this at what they're doing to this Logan guy, and saying, hey, you know what? This isn't right. I mean, why are we doing this? I mean, the story really, like, Weapon X is more of the story, just like how these people react to turn to the business of turning like a regular guy, even if he may be a mutant, but just turning this guy into a primal weapon, and then seeing what happens when the weapon goes out of control. I mean, it's a great story, and to us, it doesn't have a lot of comic book touches that you get from a lot of the comic books that were published in the 90s. I mean, it feels, I don't know, like it's a more serious work without a lot of pretension that you get from something like Origin. Mm-hmm. It's a good character driven story and it's got lots of action for all you superhero fans looking for Wolverine going around and killing stuff. But it's not the Wolverine you're used to knowing. I mean, he's just this brainwashed character who's just at the mercy of all these people, in order to decide his fate.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And like I said, even though I don't know how much of it is in actual continuity these days, it's well worth picking up. And to us, I'm probably grading the Wolverine movie against this more than Origin.
Gotcha.
Okay, now these days though, I mean, like Wolverine, he's all over the goddamn place. I mean, he's got, let's see, 4 ongoing titles. Like, let's see, there's Wolverine, there's Wolverine Origins, Wolverine First Class, which is the all ages book, and now Wolverine Weapon X, written by Jason Aaron, illustrated by Ron Garney. Which, I mean, yeah, no, World needs another Wolverine title, like a kick in the teeth. But if it's being written by the guys who did Get Mystique, then yeah, I'll be all over that once trade paperbacks come out. Right. Anyway, but I mean, like the Wolverine's most recent ongoing series is being relaunched into a vehicle for his son. Yeah, he's got a son. It's called Dakin, and he's apparently he hates his dad because he thinks his dad's his dick, and like while Wolverine's like he's prone to his berserker rages, Dakin he can control his baser instincts, and that he feels that's what makes him a better person than his dad. But you know, like I've heard that the title he's been introduced into, Wolverine Origins, is it's for the most part kind of garbage. So I am not going to be talking about that here.
Yeah.
So, but still, like the Wolverine's original title is, as it was relaunched, it's home to lots of good stories. Because like after it was originally written by, it originally had Greg Rucka, a great writer, prose or comic book form, at doing the stories, and he did 3 volumes. The best of which is the third one, Return of the Native, because this volume basically has Wolverine encountering a refugee from the Weapon X project, because so that Sabretooth is basically Wolverine's basic instincts gone bad. There's also the other possibility that that Wolverine's feral nature completely overwhelms him and he just becomes nothing more than a beast, which is kind of like what Rucka was digging into over the course of his run on the novel. Just like how does Wolverine deal with his bestial nature? This volume involves him coming face to face with this refugee from the Weapon X project, who basically did go all the way, whose mind was destroyed to the point where she is nothing more than a feral beast. And what do they have in store for her? Well, probably some shady organization has hired Sabretooth to come and get her so they can exploit her for their own ends. Now when she hands Sabretooth his ass, he realizes, okay, I gotta go and get Wolverine to go and track her down for me. Now, this is a good Wolverine versus Sabretooth story, because while Sabretooth has been portrayed as like, it's a mindless killer, or in his better times as a cunning killer, this is sort of more of his cunning killer variety. I mean, he's just going, he sees the angles here, and he knows how to exploit them for his benefit. And even though he's double crossed by everyone over the course of the story, It's like he knows how to work all the angles in order to make things work for him in the end. Wolverine, though, tends to finds a kindred spirit in the Native. How someone who knew what it was like to be exploited by people for their own ends, and I really like the relationship that Rucka sets up with the Native. But as these things go in comic books, it wasn't meant to last. And as this was Rucka's last arc on the book, she gets killed in the end. So we're prevented from seeing how Wolverine's relationship with her would have been developed over time, and that's a shame. But still, if you're looking for a good Wolverine, if it's a Saber-Tooth story, I'd go ahead and recommend this. It's far more intelligent than most of the other ones, especially Jeff Loeb's recent Wolverine Evolution story, which basically had Wolverine finally killing Sabretooth, and also completely ruining continuity and introducing a completely awful bad guy in the process. Along with telling you about apparently Wolverine, interesting prophecy where that Wolverine is one, and Sabretooth, they're part of this pack of wolf creatures. There's always supposed to be there's one dark-haired one blonde one who are supposed to emerge and fight each other. And it's how that got past quality control at Marvel, I don't know, but it's kind of like what I said last week with the Dragon Ball movie. Yeah, I'm not here to judge, but that storyline sounds like absolute shit. So John, unless you're going to willing to buy this for me out of the money we get from advertising, I ain't going to touch this. I'm going to stay a hell away. I'm going to take everyone's word for it that it is absolute shit and just not bother.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's if anyone wants to check it out themselves and tell me how wrong I am, feel free to let me know how wrong I am. Yeah. Now, for those of you looking for more action-oriented Wolverine stuff, I mean, I'll admit, Rucka's arc is more thoughtful than actually having Wolverine go around killing people. Mm-hmm. And I got a good soft spot for having Wolverine run around killing a whole bunch of people. Enter Mark Miller, writer of the Authority, the Ultimates, Ultimate X-Men, and all sorts of other titles, including Wanted as well.
That's right, Wanted.
Yes, and he basically did a nice 12-issue arc of Wolverine getting brainwashed by the Hand, the ninja bad guys of the Marvel Universe, and then going around killing, doing his best to terrorize all of Marvel's superhero community. That worked. That one went pretty well for the first half. The second half is when he's captured by S.H.I.E.L.D., re-brainwashed to be his old good guy self, and then go around getting vengeance and killing everyone in order to take back his good superhero name. It's a good fun killing, Wolverine goes around killing people story. I mean, the second half is better than the first. It's good seeing Wolverine, just realizing, God, man, it's these guys really screwed me over. So I got to go and make up for this. I got to go put my best foot forward to make amends. And that makes the second volume better, along with a nice little one-off story by Miller and artist Cara Andrews. The rest of the arc was illustrated by John Romita Jr., who, God, man, this guy does some great superhero action, and he's on his fine form in these 12 issues. The final story by Miller and Cara Andrews basically has Wolverine. It isn't really a story of Wolverine. It's a story of a Nazi commandant who's basically sent over to the Soviet War prison camp in order to increase its killing efficiency. Only problem is there's this one war prisoner who's there, but he just won't die. Yeah, no points for guessing who that guy is, but it's a good exercise in a nice old school comic book horror story, and it's fun seeing this Nazi commandant just slowly come unhinged after this one guy just keeps coming back, no matter how many times he tries to kill him. It's fun. However, going for the more ridiculous fun, though, is Wolverine's Civil War story arc. Now, the Civil War crossover basically had basically hit off with this one supervillain Nitro blowing up a bunch of school kids in a school in this one school after the New Warrior superhero team botched their apprehension of him and the rest of his bad guy group. So what do you do when the main architect is like superhero tragedy goes off and just tries to escape? You send Wolverine in to track him down.
Of course.
Yeah, and it's a good over the top story arc. It has lots of great exaggerated action from artist Humberto Ramos, who I already talked about with his art for X-Men Blinded by the Light, and it's good over the top fun. Even if the final storyline basically asks that you take all the injuries that Wolverine has suffered a bit too seriously for its own good, because I can accept Wolverine getting all the skin flayed off his skeleton as artistic license on the part of Humberto Ramos, because the guy's art style starts it over the top and then goes from there. But when you're asking me to accept that, oh wait, Wolverine was actually burned down to a skeleton and then managed to regenerate himself. Yeah, that's stretching plausibility even for a superhero comic.
Exactly.
Yeah, but still, if you can get past that and just accept it as artistic license, it's good. It's a good Wolverine action story.
Sure.
And it also has a nice, somewhat serious subplot about war profiteering that actually fits in with the whole Civil War storyline. So, good stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, wrapping things up for now. Well, one of the things that, I can't remember exactly how this happened, but Wolverine has also found a second home in Japan as well, because I think it's from the original miniseries that was done by Chris Claremont and Frank Miller. Basically, set him up in Japan and just have him fight all these Japanese influenced bad guys there. It was good stuff, but I haven't picked it up because I read it almost 10 years ago at UCR's Special Collections Library.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm probably going to pick it up one of these days and rereading it to see how it is. But ever since then, Wolverine's found a second home in Japan in the comics. It became a bit more literal once Marvel did their Tsunami imprint, which don't ask me about that, because it was either just Marvel throwing a whole bunch of new shit at the wall to see what would stick, or just them trying to cash in on the manga craze that exploded in the mid '90s by doing a bunch of Asian influenced stuff.
Right.
One of the things that came out of that thing was Wolverine Snicked, which is, in case I mispronounced it, it's
Snicked.
Yeah, it's the sound his claws make when they come out of his
IKT.
Yes.
Right? Yes.
It's his claws make when they come out of his arms. And this was illustrated by Tsutomu Nihei, who was best known for writing Blame. Blame is an interesting manga. I classify it as good different, even though the story after 10 volumes doesn't quite really lead anywhere in particular. But it's pretty. Yeah. So if you like good art, I'd recommend checking that out. That being said, his Wolverine story basically has Wolverine transported to some alternate Earth. I mean, for all I know, this could be a side story to Blame. It'd be amusing if he got this past Marvel without them realizing it. Yeah, but it's basically him, Wolverine. Transferred to this alternate dimensions, a bunch of machine creatures with a few humans surviving. And let me just say that that guy can really fucking draw. I mean, he's got some great sense of style, great sense of detail, and it's beautiful to see him actually get to work with color art here as opposed to the black and white stuff. The black and white that most
manga.
Yeah.
Manga,
Yeah. The catch is though that as good as the action is, as good as the art is, the storyline is kind of superfluous. I mean, Wolverine goes to this alternate Earth, finds a he needs saving, he saves it, end of story. But and the thing is though, it's one of the things I realized with Tsutomu Nihei is that after reading the one volume follow up he did for the Blame manga Noise, is that he doesn't really write a whole lot of dialogue. Now the reason he doesn't do that is because generally he doesn't appear to be very good at writing it in the first place. And that's it here. I mean, it's a lot of the dialogue here generally feels kind of superfluous to the actual plot. I mean, I'm looking at this stuff and I'm thinking, hey, you know what? If they just removed all the dialogue bubbles, I don't think there'd be a whole lot of, my opinion of the story would really change all that much. I mean, there's people here, but, we really don't get to know them. I mean, all we need to know is that Wolverine's here. He's here to kill people, save the world. That's it.
Yeah.
And like if you like that kind of Wolverine story, if you like Tsutomu Nihei's art, it's worthwhile. But to be honest, in full disclosure terms here, I got this at Comic-Con in the half-off bins. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, if you can find it for $7, yeah, that's a good buy too. So as it is, it's a nice enough story, but yeah, not essential for in Wolverine terms by anything else, right. by any means. Mm-hmm. And so like there's gobs of Wolverine stories out there, and like I've this doesn't even cover half the Wolverine stories I've got in my own collection. Sure. But still, I mean, he's like he's a great character. I mean, he survives so long in popularity because I mean he's just the fact that he's the kind of guy who's willing to do anything in order to get the job done. Like the man's man who's tougher than anyone else in the room. It's like who's just willing to say nuts authority and just do whatever it takes to get the job done. Right. That's the core of his appeal right there. I'm looking forward to seeing Hugh Jackman express that in the movie. It's like when it comes out at the beginning of May.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. Okay. And on that note, going to call it a night, and another week or two, it's like we'll be back with more stuff.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Okay. Later.
Later.